get a sink in the sector employee bathroom. For the love of God, sanitation people, have you heard of it?
Attention! Dark matter reactor ignition sequence has been primed. All personnel must vacate the reactor internal structure immediately. Fuel cell 2 locked. Fuel cell 3 locked. Attention 1 locked. sequence initiated. Combustion chamber seal has been locked for ignition. Gravitational lasers online, raising core superstructure to center position. The dark matter reactor superstructure has been raised to center position, activating power lasers. Opening combustion intake valves. Power lasers online. Dark matter reactor online. Reverting power back to main facility grid. Attention! Core temperature is exceeding outside of safe operating perimeters. temperatures below sustainable reaction limits. Please raise the core temperature over 275 Kelvin to avoid a combustion stall. Warning, dark matter react sustainability lost. Combustion sequence has been stalled. Please restart the dark matter reactor immediately. Activating power lasers. Opening combustion intake valves. Power lasers online. Dark matter reactor online. Reverting power back to main facility grid.
Activated. Please prepare for emergency evacuation at this time. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Attention all bottom side Q-Cert personnel. We have received signal to begin the vertical Salatum detonation sequence. Warheads will be primed in T-minus 40 seconds. All Q-Cert personnel. The warhead is ready for detonation. All bottom side facility personnel, please evacuate to the Tartarus zone immediately. I repeat, please evacuate to the Tartarus zone immediately.
And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Man, it doesn't show sad it's stopping. And I brought me some corn from Mama. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, our baby going out in the store. Everything may hold me tight, all the way home. And the fire is slowly dying, and my tears are still goodbye. But as long as
Attention all facility personnel. Bottom side warhead control room has authorized the detonation of the facility. The warhead detonation sequence has been engaged.
Attention, fuel cell capacity low. Fuel cells nearing depletion.
Attention, warhead detonation in T-minus 2.
Attention, the dark matter reactor combustion process has been stalled. Lowering reactor superstructure to the holding position for maintenance. The dark matter reactor has been lowered into holding position. DMR has now entered maintenance mode. Attention, the dark matter reactor combustion chamber requires a fuel capsule replacement.
And breaking news from the United States of America. The BBC has just received confirmed reports that the crown jewel facility of the Quantum Corporation has just suffered a catastrophic loss. The Madison Research Facility, located just east of New Haven, Connecticut, engaged with their site administrator in newly obtained classified data called Protocol Salatin, which is the detonation of a 1 megaton nuclear bomb located roughly 1 kilometer underground in the event of a data breach.
That's right. The detonation of this warhead marks the first nuclear detonation in history whose purpose was not under guise of testing. In fact, this detonation marks the first time a nuclear detonation has ever occurred in the densely populated New England region, leaving questions as to the scale of possible ground soil and water contamination. Historically, the most prominent nuclear tests occurred at the Nevada test site, with temporary test sites established along the conterminous United States and off in the Pacific Ocean. Areas all chosen as they were far from densely populated areas and therefore reduced the chances of civilians contracting illnesses related to testing.
As mentioned earlier, analysts were able to ascertain the purpose of Protocol Salatin as being an emergency protocol to destroy the facility in the event of a critical data breach, the data being of a lab division called Epsilon 8. Epsilon 8, per Quantum Corporation's description, is a human biological testing and research lab with the aimed goal of reverse engineering the capabilities of living humans. The BBC has obtained a full trove of documents regarding all of Epsilon 8's operations, who they tested on, and how they operated under the nose of the government.
Testing ranged from various different branches of biosciences, mostly having to do with neurology, cardiology, and virology. While we will not discuss the more gruesome aspects of the Epsilon 8 program on this news report, mild experiments range from mind control sleeper agents to CRISPR-based genetic engineering. Overall, there were 152 subjects named on the subject roster, most of them stemming from a lower class background and half of them presently deceased. The names of all the Epsilon 8
Fuel cell
also
2
included in the database,
locked.
implicating Quantum Corporation CEO James McCarthy and the plethora of
Fuel
staff
cell
now form
3
Madison Research
locked.
Center, such as Dr. Martin Miller, Dr.
Fuel
Rob
cell
Brown, and
1
Dr. Helene Kaiser.
locked.
As such, members of the Epsilon 8 program were apprehended and detained by federal authorities, the United States Attorney General Edwin Meese issuing a press release stating that the Department of Justice would file a criminal suit against members of Epsilon 8 for high treason against the United States, conspiracy against the United States, 43 counts of second-degree murder, 26 counts of voluntary manslaughter, 102 cases of kidnapping, fraud, and criminal malfeasance.
According to sources within the US government, the trial is scheduled to take place next week through the Federal District Court in Connecticut. This court case could mark the first potential treason conviction case since 1945's Kramer versus the United States.
Epsilon 8, according to the database leak, commenced operations around the time the Madison Research Center was built, culminating various different experiments and various staff members, names of whom have all been identified. Epsilon 8 used accounting tricks to throw government subsidy money into a black budget, accumulating millions to almost billions of dollars in funding. An annual funding sheet dating back to 1972
Dark matter reactor ignition sequence has been primed. All personnel must vacate the reactor internal structure immediately.
According to the US government and even the Epsilon 8 database, the government is the Epsilon 8 program, with Epsilon 8 members stating that the laboratory was intentionally hidden in the deepest part of the facility to quote, deter employees of government officials from coming to the end and have more view after the
Attention, dark matter reactor ignition sequence has been confirmed. All personnel must evacuate the reactor internal structure immediately. Combustion chamber seal will lock in T-minus 20 seconds.
skeleton has been activated. Please prepare.
Dark matter reactor ignition sequence initiated. Combustion chamber seal has been locked for ignition. Gravitational lasers online. Raising core super